Guys, we finally know what's happened with Chris Watts. Okay, so he's speaking out, guys. He just went to, no, actually the detectives went on into prison and interviewed him and asked him, Chris, are you ready to speak out and are you ready to tell us what truly happened with your family? And he says now that he's found God because they gave him books to read, and he's reading now the Bible, and he's ready to speak out. And he did speak. He spoke on 5th of March, and on 7th of March, his interview went out to public for us to listen. So if you didn't have time to go and listen to what he said, what exactly happened that night, then I will tell you because I listened to it. It was like 5 hours long, and it's very it's very depressing and it's very disturbing what this man has actually done to his children and his pregnant wife. I know what's happened, and he told us. Hopefully, he tells the truth, but this is what happened. And I predicted it all. Everything that I said in my previous video about Chris Watts, it was all truth. I predicted it so well. I just knew exactly what was happened. And exactly what I told you guys is exactly what happened. So that night, they had an argument. Chris Watts and his wife, pregnant wife, Shanann. Everything that I said, that's exactly what happened. She arrived at 2 a.m. She arrived at 2 a.m. and from what Chris was told us, they made love that night. They made love that night, and then she fell asleep. And then he just suddenly wakes up and say, hey, I need to speak to you. I personally think the reason that he woke her up is because he just realized this woman doesn't really love me as much as my mistress does. That's what I think happened in his mind. Because the detective kept on asking him, why do you hate Shannon so much? Why is there so much hate? And he answers, he says, they actually ask him what was happening through your mind while you were strangling her. And he says, I kept remembering that my family wasn't at my wedding. So I hated her for that. And the detective asked him, why do you think your family wasn't there? And he says, because my mom and my sister, they didn't like her. So is this why you killed her? And he says, no, that's not the reason why. There's lots of things. And they said, so what else? What else was there? Why did you do what you did? Why did you suddenly just killed your children and your wife? And he says, it was just build up of hate. But why did you hate your wife? And he says, I regret having a mistress because once I had the mistress, I would never realize that, that she kind of, he said I was myself with the mistress, where when I was around Shanann, I was always like shaking and nervous, and she made me nervous, and I just wasn't myself. But with my mistress, I was just myself. And then he started to hate her because probably suddenly he realized she was like not good for him, because he's probably thinking now, look, the mistress gives me all this attention. I can feel myself with this mistress. My mom and sister doesn't like her anyway. So let me just like finish her off because she doesn't love me. He probably thought after he had sex with her that night and wake her up to speak to her, he probably thought, oh, she doesn't love me anyway, you know? I don't know, wherever. So he was probably angry thinking that she doesn't love him. He probably just, who knows, maybe his influence from his mistress and his mother and sister made him do that, you know? Who knows, guys? But anyway, let me tell you. So apparently he wakes her up now at 4, I think, or 5. And then he goes, listen, Shanann, I don't think we this gonna work out. I don't think like that me and you are all right. And like, I think it's over. And she started to cry. She was like crying and she was telling him, I know there's somebody else, I'm not stupid, blah, blah, blah. And you will never see the kids again. So that was her threat. And that's what kicked her off. And then he started to strangle her. And he said to the detectives, while he was doing it, he wasn't himself. He was just thinking about the arguments she had with his family, and then nobody came to the wedding, and how his mistress was treating him maybe better than her, and she was like not loving him. And he also mentioned to detectives that his mother kept on telling him like, oh, Shanann, she has a past, you know, like she was married before. She's not good because she was married before. Who knows how many men she's with, wherever. And he said to the detectives while he was strangling her that he was thinking about what his mother said to him and his family, like that she had a past, and who knows, you know. So anyway, he strangles her and the children woke up. So Bella wakes up and goes into the bedroom and says, what are you doing to mommy? Where is mommy? And he goes, mommy's sick, we need to take her to hospital. Bella, she's so smart. She knew that something was not right. So armchair detective, when he found out those shadows underneath the truck, he was right. The children were still alive when he took them to the truck. Has anybody studied this case, Chris Watts? No? Nobody knows? Nobody knows. So children, they were still alive when he killed their mother. So he's now putting, this is a story he told a few days ago to the detectives. He's now ready to speak out because he's reading the Bible. He wants to tell the truth, what really happened. So he says he strangles her in a rage, and then the children woke up. He put Shanann into the truck, and the children now following him into the truck. And now he's driving 45 minutes to his workplace to bury Shanann. I think it's full of crap what this guy is telling us. I mean, he's telling us the truth, what really happened, but I think deep inside he knows he's been brainwashed by his mistress. I'll tell you why. Listen. So now he's driving towards his workplace and he starts to bury Shanann. So he's like he's burying her basically, and Bella noticed it and he says, what are you doing to mommy? And she started to cry. And I think at that point he knew he needs to kill them because Bella was a witness. That's exactly what I said to you guys, because they were a witness. They could have told that daddy buried mommy. He killed her, so he had to kill children, his children. Anyway, so now, oh my gosh, this is so scary. So now he is burying Shanann, and this is what he says. He tells us the truth. Finally, he goes back into the truck, back of the car, and he puts because the baby had the baby's blanket, and he puts the blanket over her head and starts strangling her. He says to the detective, Cece was first, so that's the youngest one. Why would Cece be first? Anyway, so he says Cece was first, so he starts strangling her, the little one. She was so small, and she died immediately. Like she was so small, she didn't fight back or anything. She just died. So he took her, he didn't know what to do, and he just threw her into the oil tank at his workplace. Just throw her into oil tank, came back for Bella. So now he's coming back to Bella and he's saying, and Bella is saying, no, daddy, please don't do that. She's saying to him, please don't do what you just did to Cece. So basically she's saying, please don't do what you just did to my little sister. He doesn't listen. He goes and struggles her next, Bella. And he puts her into another oil tank. He says to the detective that at that point, he just hated everything that Shanann gave him. He hated Shanann, he hated the children, and he just decided that he was suffering for too long with this woman. I believe that, I believe him that when he said that, because Shanann was very busy with her business, and even when he said like that night when she came back from her trip, she just had sex with him and she just went back to sleep. I believe that she just works, does this, don't give him much attention, and then he just doesn't feel good about himself, and then he starts to believe his family, what they say about her. He's starting to believe the mistress, and it just built up, and he just was very painful towards his wife. Now, I can't stay long. This is going to be a very short time about Chris Swartz, because I have a meeting now. Somebody's coming to see my flat because I'm selling my house. So I can't stay long. I just wanted to tell you the news that Chris Swartz has admitted everything that's happened. So the children were still alive. He killed them in a truck. The children were witnessing their mother being buried, because he buried Shanann and the children were in a truck. So they were watching they were watching their mother being buried, basically, and then he just killed them because they were witnesses. Then detective just asked him, how about the Metallica lyrics that you was looking at after you killed your family? And he says, well, that's the mistress. She asked me to look at the song. So are you aware of what these lyrics are saying? He says, yes. The mistress asked him, what does Metallica Battery song means? And then he went and researched lyrics of Metallica, which means killing my family. Also, he mentioned about his mistress that she's bipolar, and that I truly believe that she manipulated him emotionally. I truly believe that Shanann emotionally kind of, I don't know, I'm not going to say the word abuse him, but she was, I don't know, look, she's dead now, so I don't want to say things. I truly believe, because they asked him, how about your phone? They said that she always had his phone, that she was managing the finances, and I felt, when he said that he felt himself with the mistress, he felt like that's the time that he could just breathe, like from his wife. So that means that he was very, he wasn't feeling comfortable anymore around her, his wife. So I believe, truly, this is what I believe, that he was very easily manipulated. Some people say he's a yes boy. He truly is a yes boy. Look who interviewed him. Who he told the truth to, a woman, to police detective. She was a female, she was a woman. He's very yes boy to a woman. He cannot say no to a woman. Detective who interviewed him was a woman, and who he told the truth to, a woman. Mother and his sister always talk to him bad about his wife, and he's just absorbing it. Why? Because they're women's. And again, his mistress, a woman, manipulated him to the point where he really thought he would be better off without his children and his wife. Come on. He's a very yes boy. He's like very easily manipulated by a woman. I saw him because I was watching the interview when he was being interviewed by a woman detective. Straight away, he told her the truth because he was a woman. So he has a soft spot for females, for women, and he just goes along with anything the woman tells him. Nicole Kessinger I believe, did manipulate him. As soon as he said in the interview, I don't think he even realized it, because he was like, she's got nothing to do with this. No, she didn't tell me anything. But wait a minute. When he told about Metallica lyrics, why was you researching Metallica lyrics? He goes, because my mistress told me to. Right. So, and you don't realize that this could be easily like it's called manipulation. And the lyrics of Metallica says, killing your family. So why would the mistress ask him to research the lyrics of a song Metallica, how is it called, the song? I don't know. Battery is called, where it says, kill your family. Why would the mistress ask him to listen to that song? Unless she's a good manipulator. She brainwashed him that she's better than her, that he has to leave her. And guess what? I'm not going to lie to you guys. Just quickly, just to tell you. Listen to the interview of the mistress. She says, I don't want any debts, because Shanann had debts, and the children were sick because the little one was allergic to nuts. So she was saying to Chris, mistress, I'm talking about the mistress, Nicole Kessinger, she was saying to him, all my life I've been working hard not to have any debts, so I don't want your debts from her. You know, even when you divorce, I don't want your debts. And also your kids are sick. Who knows what she told them? Like, look, you're in debt because your kids are sick and the medical bills are so high. We cannot take care of them. Who the fuck knows what the mistress told him, man? She was brainwashing him about, because listen to the interview she gave to the detective. She was saying like, I worked all my life not to have any debts. So for me, these people were like dirty in debt. Like, who knows what she told him? She probably told him, look at your wife. She has all these debts and I'm good. I have no debts. I'm clean. Who knows? Next, she says about his children. Oh my gosh, I have to go. And next she says about his children that probably, oh my gosh, all these medical bills that you have about these kids is all because they're sick. So like, they're not good either. Get rid of them too. Who knows? I really believe that not directly she told him, get rid of them all, but she manipulated him. She asked him to listen to Metallica lyrics. Come on. And then she says, I'm free from debt, and look at you. Like, come on. And he doesn't realize he's been manipulated because he's so stupid. He's got no brain. He's just like a yes boy. Whatever woman tells him, he just does it because that's just a woman. Anyway, so that's my story about his interview. They did ask him, do you think the mistress got anything to do with this? And he says, no. But I believe like he didn't realize that he's been manipulated and brainwashed by the mistress and the whole family. He now says he regrets what he did and he wishes that he never went into the... He says that he wishes he never worked for this place, or that put him in a field instead of the office where he met that mistress. He regrets even meeting her. He says that he wishes he can go back in time and rewind the time. He now probably realizes that he was just a rage, he was just angry, and he was just act of just suddenly just happened, and he just thought, oh, my wife doesn't love me, where she clearly did loved him. And now he realizing, oh my gosh, my wife did love me and she gave me kids, and there was another kid on the way, a boy in her belly. That's what he wanted. And Nicole Kessinger told him that I can give you a boy. Listen, he told this to detectives a few days ago, that Nicole Kessinger told him, listen, I can give you a boy because you want a boy. I can give you a boy. What the fuck? This girl, she's so fucked up, man. Fucking unstable bitch. What she did to him and his family, and he just fell for it. He's probably thinking my mother and sister doesn't even love her, and like maybe she's just ready to go without realizing it. This is all you actually had. This is your real stuff. Here, right here. let me just say everything that I have to say before I go, so I don't forget anything, because I'm not gonna go live again. This is just Chris, unless something else comes up with Chris Watts and another murder story that I have to. But I did tell you everything, and everything that I told you actually happened. Everything. The only thing was now, was it meditated, or was it planned, or was it just in state of rage? What I said. I believe Chris Watts loved his wife. Sorry, you can hate me if I say this. I truly believe he loved her, and the mistress was just like escape from the pain that she was giving him. Sorry, you may have different views, but I truly believe he loved his wife. And I feel like that when he killed her, he was just angry that she didn't love him as much as he wanted to be loved. And he was just a hate, like anger, anger. The kids, they witnessed it all. He probably was like, I don't know. Another thing that's really bothering me is like, how confident was he to do all this at his workplace? So he buried his wife at his workplace and the children at the oil tank. And do you know who works with the oils? Who works with his mistress? His mistress works with oil and gas and all that. So why would he be so confident to put them there? Another thing, wait, I forgot, is that he was filmed that he put stuff in his truck, and it looks like he was gonna burn the place. He was gonna burn Shanann and the kids. Made it look like an accident, like it was an explosion. I'm just wondering whose idea was that. What do you think? Does his mistress, Nicole Kessinger, has got anything to do with where the children's gonna get buried and where his wife's gonna get buried? Was he gonna come back? Because the detective said, why did you leave some of the stuff there? Like, it looked like he was coming back to make it look like it was like an accident, like maybe fire. He was gonna set up a fire. But thank God her best friend Nicole, she acted on time, so wasn't expected. He didn't know that police gonna find out so quick that she disappeared, so he couldn't go back and made a fire. Listen, you may have different views than me, and you may not agree with me. This is my opinions, and I'm gonna close this topic. So, where to start? Don't hate me for this, what I'm going to tell you. I believe that he was manipulated by his mistress, and that she made him listen to Metallica song and the lyrics, and slowly brainwashed him, telling him about how many debts they have, and how she worked all her life not to have any debts, and how she is so strictly looking after her health, and she don't want anybody being unhealthy in the family. The kids were sick. She was also sick. They had debts, and I believe that mentally his mistress manipulated him to have this hate and finally killed him. That's my opinion. You may have different opinion. You can comment. Feel free to comment to see what's your opinion. I truly believe, even though physically mistress wasn't involved, I believe mentally he was brainwashed. Also, I believe that the mother and the sister and his his father wasn't saying much. He was just going whatever his wife says, his mother. I truly believe that his family, thank you for liking, I truly believe that his family, his mother and sister started to favor his mistress just so that he could get rid of her. This is just all evil people, man. And, oh, you know what? Chris Watts, you're so stupid because, all right, she didn't maybe give you that much attention, but she gave you the children and the money. She was making so much money with Thrive. you can't have everything. Like maybe she just, you know, when you were like in like marriages 8 to 10 years, like you can't just keep having this intention, but your wife loved you and your children loved you. This is your real thing here. And you murder them. Why? Because you was manipulated by your family and your mistress? Come on, Chris, think. Now he's reading the Bible. I have to go now, really. 5 minutes. Now he's reading the Bible in prison and he's regretting everything he's done. He's keeping the picture like this in his cell. He now realizing what he's done was wrong. He cannot return back the time. Something just weird about that guy. I still don't believe him. I don't believe this guy. I don't know. Just something is not right. We spoke about this before, that his mother is a big narcissist and that he could have, I believe that he gets all this mental unstableness from his mother. I'm 100% sure. Because detective asked him, you spoke to your parents? And he says, yes, I did. My father is much more comfortable to speak to. My father's much better. And they said, why? He said, because my father, when I speak to him, he doesn't go into details about Shanann. When my mother, when she calls me, she's always like, why did you do this? And why? You know, his mother was like kept on bullying him about the things that happened and to Shanann, whatever. And he just didn't want to go through that again. And I feel like he was manipulated by his mother and his family and his mistress. And he just lost it. There could be a part of it that was planned because he had, because he, to me, looked like he was very confident to bury them into his workplace unless you have somebody else there, his mistress, who also works there. I truly believe that she physically didn't have to do anything with it, but she's a part of it. He didn't admit that. But I know, because listen, I always do these homicides cases, and every homicide, every murder case that I did, I was always right. Every single one of them, I'm never wrong. I believe, and you can hate me for this, the mistress got not physically something to do with this, but she's got something to do with this. Number one. And number two, he was angry. He had so much hate towards her. That's the reason why. And that's what happened. Poor kids, man. How did he kill the kids? He put the blanket over Cece's head and waited until she just died. Then he put her into the oil tank, came back, went to Bella, and Bella was begging for her life. She was saying, please, Daddy, no, please, Daddy, no. He put the blanket over her head. She was trying to fight. Like, that's when she bitten her tongue. And he didn't let her go. He killed her also, and then he threw her into the oil tank. I also said in my previous video, I also think that this got something to do with narcissism from his mother, definitely from his mother. And that's it, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. This is a sad story. And unfortunately, a guy like this had heart to do that. And we're still trying to understand why the police, like the detectives are still investigating why such a nice guy did that and what has happened. He said that he didn't know what was happening. It was just like, it just went so fast. And he said that he never ever lost it like this. Never in his whole life. He never lost his, he just lost it. I don't know. I truly believe that mistress has got, he said to the police that she told him she was bipolar. So she was like, and he also told the police that she was unstable. She was bipolar and something was wrong with this mistress. That's what happens when you hang around with people like fucked up. You have to listen. You have to recognize people you're surrounded by. Guys, it's so important. It can be even your family, your friends, your mistress, wherever. You have to be so so open-minded who your entourage is, who are your friends. He just started hanging around with this unstable mistress, and she was bipolar, and she just fucked him up, man. Fucked his mind up. And he put all the puzzles together, like, because they asked him what was going on through your mind when you were struggling your wife. He said the wedding, because my parents didn't come to the wedding. So all the puzzles came together, like, my sister and mother doesn't like her, and this mistress made me feel like I'm myself, and now this bitch, she don't love me. She gave you the kids, but never mind. It's the people you hang around with, guys. Come on, you have to be careful. Who's gonna influence you to do things like this? I feel sorry for all my anyway. America's talking about this, and they finished talking about this, and I'm gonna finish talking about Chris Watts. We know the truth now. We've done it, and I just feel that this guy was influenced by bad people, and his mistress was bad, very much a bad woman, evil bitch. And that's what you get, Chris. Now you're in prison, and she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't even want to know, because she's worried that she's gonna get involved, because she knows if they're truly trying to, like, look, police has not enough proofs that she's got anything to do with it, because there's no physical proofs. Only mental influence, and you cannot go to prison for that. That's what I'm saying to you, my friends. Who you're surrounded, your friends and people that you speak to every day, make sure it's the right people who are successful, people who's gonna make you, who's gonna push you to do good in your life, who's gonna push you to be successful, to have a good job, to love your family, your kids and your wife. So this is your family. No matter how she was still your wife. So what kind of woman goes and breaks that? But he just realizing it today. Now it's too late. It's too late, because he was influenced and he made a big mistake. The choices that you make in your life are so important. Who are your friends? Who do you hang around every day? Listen, when they judge somebody or make certain comments, like hateful comments, or you have to really notice certain people and say, whoa, wait, I don't want to be around people like that, because I don't like the way their life is, and I want to be influenced by good people. Like, listen, what kind of man would spend every day with a woman who knows that he has a wife and 2 kids? Only a bitch. So why would you be surrounded and be influenced by a bitch, evil fucking snake? You must be out of your mind to think that you have a good woman next to you, because a good woman will never do that. So why would you surround yourself by an evil snake? And that's what you get now. That's what you get. Prison for life. And same goes with the friends. Small things like this, you notice it. Friends are not your friends. They're not good influence to you. Just leave. Turn around and leave. Look for somebody who's going to influence you in a good, positive way. All right, guys, I have to go now. Take care. How do I finish this? Take care, guys. Love you.